our everyday life, we come across many situations where we have to compare two quantities, such as comparing height, comparing marks of different students, or comparing speed. Let's understand how can we compare these quantities. Suppose we buy a yellow shirt for Rs 800 and a green shirt for Rs 400. The most common way to compare these values is to take the difference, which tells us that the yellow shirt cost 400 rupees more than the green shirt. But apart from taking difference, is there any other way to compare these values? Yes, we can compare them by using division. If we divide the cost of a yellow shirt by that of the green shirt, we infer that yellow shirt costs 2 times more than the green shirt. Comparison, where quantities are compared in terms of how many times, are called ratio. In simple words, comparison by division is called ratio. This tells us that we can purchase 2 green shirts with the same amount of money that is used to buy a yellow shirt. Now that we understand what is ratio, let's learn how to write it. Let's say that there are 10 students in a classroom and we want to find out the ratio of girls to boys. Ratio can be written in 3 formats. The first form is the word form, where the phrase is to is used to compare two quantities. Remember that the first quantity mentioned will be the first one to write. So we will count the number of girls first, which is 6. Write the phrase is to, and then count the number of boys, which is 4. So the ratio of girls to boys is 6:4. The second form is the colon form, where the phrase is to is replaced by a colon. So the ratio is 6:4, but it is still read as 6:4. Finally, ratios can be expressed in fraction form, where the first quantity serves as the numerator and the second quantity serves as the denominator. Remember that ratios can only be expressed in fraction form when two quantities are being compared. If a comparison involves more than two quantities, then ratio cannot be expressed in fraction form. Just like fractions, ratios can also be simplified. In our case, the greatest common factor for 6 and 4 is 2, so let's cancel them out by 2. 2 3s are 6, 2 2s are 4. So the simplified form of this ratio is 3:2, which means that we can divide the class of 10 into groups of 5, where each group will consist of 3 girls and 2 boys. Ratio can be of two types: part-to-part ratio, where one part is compared with the other part. For instance, ratio of girls to boys, which is 6:4, or in simplified form 3:2. Ratio of boys to girls is 4:6, and after simplification it will be written as 2:3. The other type of ratio is part to whole ratio, where one part is compared with the whole. For instance, ratio of girls to all students. In this case, we will first have to calculate the whole part. 6 girls, 4 boys make the total of 10 students. So the ratio of girls to all students is 6:10, or after simplification 3:5. Ratio of boys to all students: 4 boys out of 10 students. So the ratio is 4:10, or 2:5 after simplification. The key points from today's lesson are: if we want to know how much more or less one quantity is from the other, we compare them by taking their difference. But if we want to know how many times one quantity is that of the other, we compare them by division. And this comparison by division is called ratio.